Hello and welcome to the One People Show. Hello and welcome, everyone, to this week's One People Roundtable. And it's going to be a little bit strange.
This week's One People Under the Table show.
Yeah. It's going to be stranger than normal, I think.
You know, I find it really, really awkward that there is a stranger than normal, or that there is a normal at all. And the fact that we could actually be stranger than what is normal on this show. Just saying.
Where were we last week? We
got to talk about the Antarctica shit. I mean, the whole thing. John Kerry, in the middle of a fucking U.S. election week, decides he's going to go off to Antarctica for 2 whole days. He's only spending 1 day in Oman, 1 day in Dubai, and 1 day, I think, in Jordan. But he spent 2 whole days with the penguins in Antarctica, talking about global warming. And apparently they've signed up a deal now, or ratified a deal of another 35-year ban of travel into Antarctica. So for another 35 years, you still can't travel into Antarctica. And then he went to New Zealand just in time to be in Christchurch for a 7.8 earthquake that had very, very strange, you know, those theoretical but non-existent lightning strikes that happen over top of certain earthquakes. Yeah, about that.
So what was the official story as to why he was going? Is there one?
Climate change. Climate change is a terrible thing, and apparently you have to take care of that climate change right now in the middle of election week.
In Antarctica.
In Antarctica.
What am I missing? Seriously, I mean, what am I missing? Because none of that makes any fucking sense.
None of it makes any sense. And I'll have to throw this in here just for shits and giggles, because I got contacted on Facebook by a guy who's a scientist with CERN in Antarctica at McMurdo Station. And it was one of those bullshit things when I ran the guy around in a circle because I decided to start talking particle physics to him, and he kind of lost interest really quick in chatting with me. But I just thought, again, it was really funny that from McMurdo Station in Antarctica. I guess, okay, well, that's got to make things a little interesting if you're trying to pick up chicks online. Yeah, I'm in Antarctica. Well, that's what you call a long-distance chat relationship.
So there was no election result last week when we did the show, was it? We were still speculating. Yes.
No, it was the day. We were still speculating. You were still speculating.
And now there's so much more to speculate on.
Oh, God.
Because...
Well, the big news, Lisa,
by the result.
You've been asleep through this. Canada is offering sanctuary for California, Oregon, Nevada, and Washington State. You can all come be part of Canada. And apparently there's that was written in one of the Canadian newspapers by one of the journalists. It's like, yeah, you guys can all come up here, join Canada, you know, secede from the U.S. And somebody wrote in a newspaper article down in the States in response going, yes, please take us. We don't care. Just please take us.
Is Texas making noises? Was Texas going to leave if Clinton won, or if...
No, Clinton. If Clinton won, Texas was out of there.
Okay.
Texas wants to leave regardless. Texas has been threatening to leave for fucking years now.
So these riots are all looking a little bit contrived.
Oh,
and God,
It's the purple revolution.
Yeah, okay, so explain that, because Soros is apparently behind this purple revolution. But what is the purple revolution? And then why is Hillary and Bill coming out all dressed in purple? And now I know we've talked about, everything turning technicolor. Hey, Joseph, you're on camera, dude. And I can't turn you off. You're going to have to turn your own camera off. What was I going to say?
It's transparency at its finest.
We know.
Well, no, we know that
about the world turning purple and turning rainbow, but that doesn't include the Clintons wearing purple. That's not the same thing.
But we all know that Hillary sucks George Soros's dick. So and so does Bill. They tag team, apparently. And it's just a little bit of transparency. We all know Soros is pushing this revolution type bullshit. And then they show up the next day wearing all purple and then say, no, this is the
Jerry show up in his mouth.
Blue and red. What was that?
You just made Jerry show up.
Jerry, get us. There's probably going to be a few of those today that you're going to want to maybe have a little bucket handy. Just saying.
Okay. So you ready for the woo-woo?
Okay, what direction of woo-woo? Because, I could go about Siberia all of a sudden growing to 10 times its normal size, but go ahead, hit me.
Taking up 75% of Russia now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as most, I imagine, viewers know, we had interaction with people of unknown, undisclosed origin by the name of Lilu and Oliver and
going by the name of
Jefferson and whatever. And then a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago now, just about, we lost contact with them. Since then, there has been contact with completely different people who are claiming to be there. And the difference is very obvious. So I think
especially yesterday.
The day before. Oh, that's the last one that you were in on, right? So
yesterday for me, it was the day before for you, yes.
Yeah, Tuesday. So that's Monday. So Sunday, I guess, Lilu came through onto my daughter's computer. Now, after the previous contact where it was definitely we added it completely as being fraudulent and psyop, took extra measures on my computer so that absolutely no remote access could be achieved. So we're sitting here and my daughter's computer starts talking. And once, within the first sort of sentence or two, this Lilu character tried to guilt trip me twice. I was like, oh, okay, so you're not Lilu, obviously. And once it was outed, got very abusive.
Oh, yeah. Started talking religious shit that was just like, and then told us to fuck off. No, she said, fuck you.
She said, fuck you all. You cannot destroy me.
Fuck you all.
You cannot destroy me.
Fuck you all.
So
you cannot destroy me.
For those in the UU room on Facebook, know that we have been exercising our energetic warrior muscles, and we've been doing some doings, and we have been working in various groups, dealing with a lot of this stuff on an energetic level. And one that came through my daughter's computer the other night was somebody who was very pissed and very scared, and also managed to reveal quite a bit. Because the more I goaded it, the more I told him how fucked up it was.
I didn't get a chance to really talk to you after listening to the recording.
Yep.
I have to say this for everyone. Standing ovation for Lisa. Brava, brava. She goaded the fuck out of that thing so fucking bad that it was, I should almost just release just a little piece of you, like telling it where to go. It was a piece of artwork. You did me proud. I was really quite proud of you.
Well, thank you. But the more I goaded it, the more it revealed. So it was pretty cool. And then locked it out of my daughter's computer. Went through all the protocols and made sure nothing could get in. So that was that. However, Darius did want to hear what it had to say. I was like, nah, too late. It's gone. Getting rid of it. Now, Darius has a brand new computer that he bought a week ago. Right?
Oh, okay. This is new to me, folks, just so you know, because I haven't heard this. We've been doing the time-lapse time zone thing, so I'm all ears.
Another Mac, yes. All 3 computers in this house are Macs. So it's brand new. Now, with a Mac, it's nothing gets in unless you activate these things, whether it's screen sharing, remote access, whatever. You've got to activate it. Nothing is on his computer. So none of the doorways that you could have used to get to mine or Phoenix's were there. There is nothing on his. It's brand new. And they didn't use Lulu's voice this time. They used the same one they used, that Oliver was using.
Hmm.
And it was clear through what came through was that they had been listening through the computers, or at least through his, for about 15, 20 minutes to the conversation. Because it was everything that came through was only relevant to what we'd been speaking about in the last 20 minutes.
Hmm.
There was what it sounds like is that they're very, very scared of Darius getting involved. And that it was, at first it was all the usual tactics, appeal to the ego, offerings of reward.
Oh, really?
And then the diversion. I don't know what to make of last night, to be honest with you. They actually gave us a name, which we looked up, and it is the name of a person who works with the corporate world as a consultant. If a corporation wanted to hire a black magician, that's what this guy sounds like.
Hmm.
The stuff that was in some of the stuff that came through the recording,
Mm-hmm.
certain words and phrases were on his website. But, and this is where it gets like, what the fuck? He knew.
You recorded it, right?
Of course, it was all recorded.
Of course. Okay, good.
When Darius said, "How do you know me?" The answer was something. I'm not saying it out loud, but the answer was something that only Darius knew from childhood. Something that Darius experienced when he was a kid that he never told anybody except me. This guy knew about. That's what. What I don't. This is where it's all getting like, who the what? And this was a spiritual energetic experience that he had as a kid, alternate reality kind of experience that he had as a kid that he never told anybody about. So how the hell does that happen? If we're we're obviously not just talking about a human being who happens to be a consultant for corporations.
No.
There was no abuse last night.
So they didn't end up telling you to go fuck you all?
No. I took the approach of, okay, if we're dealing with the corporate level, if that's what we're dealing with, like the top corporate minions, like that, you know what I mean? Like the top of the foot soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Then I approached it like that. I was like, okay, so you're all about the bottom line. What's your offer? Let's get right down to your offer, and then we can get to our counter offer. Because I know I'm not going. It was almost, the vibe was, you know, if you can't beat them, join them. Well, the vibe was, if you can't beat them, let's try and pull them in.
Uh-huh.
Because they're obviously not going to join us, but perhaps they could get us to join them.
Come on into the fucker's room. We'll work out your kinks.
I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. Never a fucking dull moment in my house, though, apparently. And there's anybody who remote views or has the skills to do, you know, work at the energetic level will know what we've been doing. And I know that there are groups all around the world who are coming together and doing all kinds of things.
Okay, Lisa, I'm just going to ask a question because everyone's asking in the chat. When Darius told you about this experience as a child, I'm assuming that was...
2 years ago.
2 years ago, years ago. Okay. That's what I wanted to say, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not something we talk about or have talked about in the last 2 years, I would say. If you've joined this show because you wanted to get a commentary on the political scene or the geopolitical scene, I'm sorry, you may as well switch off now because we're probably not going to go there.
Well, we just did. We did.
That was it.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. That's all the geopolitical scene is getting these days.
Because okay, how open are we going to be about what we've been doing? Because everyone's going to think we're nuts completely. No, they probably already do. That's probably wrong.
Everyone already knows that we're nuts, love. It's not even a question. And anyone who you know wants to play that card already has played the card to the point where it's kind of boring now. So I'm really not all that concerned.
All right. Well, to recap then, let's get the bigger picture going, because as we've talked about, we're in this construct. There were what it feels like. Our understanding of it is growing all the time through these energetic doings that we're doing, through the information that's coming through the fuckery that comes through on these computers and what they give away. Our understanding is growing all the time. So I guess the narrative for me right now, I'll start with that. We created this construct. It was invaded, and we were locked out of, we are multidimensional beings, right? We were locked out of or disconnected from the higher aspects of the construct. These, what we're referring to as layers, resets, different scripts playing out. But just like Westworld, right? It's a construct where you could come in and maybe there were, 100 different storylines you could play out. So that's all they have to work with, is the storylines that were already here from the beginning. This is how it feels to me right now, right? So in every movie, in every book, they have a happy ending. They always come to a happy, the good guy wins in the end. So what happens if, we play all these different storylines out, which all end up having a happy ending. But when they took it over, just before we get to the last chapter where the good guys start to fight back and get their happy ending, there's the reset, and they bring us back to the beginning of the story. So you've got, when you look through history, what do you see? You see the same thing over and over and over and over again. They change the names, they maybe change the location, but the storyline's the same. So they did this 777 times is the number we've been given. Maybe, maybe not, who knows?
I'm not stuck on the numbers. That's what I keep saying to everyone. I'm just kind of disregard numbers. Numbers can be allegory, whatever. It's a number.
But like an elastic band, like the whole idea of, the universe expanding and then contracting, all of that. If we went up through these layers and then they got to a point where they couldn't do it anymore. So now we've been coming back down through the layers. So each time they put a new layer on, we devolved, right? We devolved. And then we've been what we call evolving, but it's really coming back to what we were. And every time we come down through to one of these layers, more gets exposed. We see the technology, we see the disclosure, we see, these shows, these TV shows, for example, and the movies that have come out that have just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they're all, this is why we go through all these themes, and then what was it, over the last few years, it's been all the Marvel stuff, all the superhero stuff, and then that was the theme. And now we're seeing a different theme, and it's all created, all around time in some way, shape or form. So we're down on the original layer, is what it feels like, the first layer, or it's fucking close, whatever it is, to where this all began. So many more people now are in touch with, are waking up to their multi-dimensional souls, the gifts that they have, more empathic. And they're stepping up, and this is happening all over the world with different groups everywhere doing all kinds of work. It's awesome, and we're finding validation, confirmation for the work that we do in these other groups and in what comes out in the media.
Yeah.
Is there something you wanted to say at that point? You look like you wanting to jump in.
No, I'm just, you just said what's coming out in the media, and because it just seems like media where you go, oh, isn't that an interesting timing? That article would come.
Your internet, I'm not getting you.
Is shockingly bad.
You're going from freeze frame to freeze frame. And I have no idea what you said.
It said, yeah, my internet is shocking. We have a really huge electrical storm going on outside. It's really cool lightning, actually, on two sides. So, yeah, you talk. I'll just sit here and nod my head.
Okay. Someone's got their camera on. Hi, Nancy. You're on camera, darling. I don't even know where else to go with this at the moment. There's so much that's been happening. There's so much that's being revealed. There's so much work being done. And I swear to God, they are shitting themselves.
Too many weird shit going on. Weird, even to the point of, you and I go through, like, certain topics kind of come around full circle every so often. We get onto a same topic, gets rehashed again. And the Arctic and the Antarctic is one of those where we've discussed this so many times after the last couple of years. But it really, this last 3 weeks, boom, really huge stuff talking about, again, the Arctic and the Antarctic. And we get, like we said last week, we get the fucking article that comes out in the mainstream news about weird sounds coming from the Arctic seafloor that the Canadian Navy is going to go and check out. John Kerry decides in the middle of election week he's just got to run off to Antarctica for 2 days to talk to the penguins.
Oh, did anything else come out about the Canadian military going to check out the Arctic? Zip.
Yeah, no, nothing. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm just like, that's
it's because even your video, it's like you move really smoothly, and the next thing you know, your line really must have screwed up internet right now. Oh, my bandwidth is dropping all of a sudden really radically. Why is that?
Can you get onto another network?
Okay. You might lose me. I'll be back in a second. I'm going to try and flip to a different Wi-Fi. Hold on.
I'm getting asked questions there. Well, like, what does my heart tell me? Any contact with the real Lulu? Not via computer. But yes, through other means.
So you talk about going and looking for things and exercises, stuff that we've been doing. So one of my things that I've been doing is looking for Lilo, or as I've reverted to calling her reverted to calling her Solace again, because that's my thing, right? And that's who I'm searching for. And actually, I'm going to talk about this just a little bit because it plays into some of this. And we're talking about movies and everything, talking about programming and movies and TV shows. So yesterday was kind of like what was probably, given the weather forecast for the rest of this week anyway, our last really nice, sunny, warmish day. So we took all the kids down to the beach, go have like one last really good day on the beach. And I wanted to go look outside of the house, get out and just kind of sit and take some time while the kids are all off running, playing, go looking. So when I'm saying looking, energetically looking, going to see what I can see. And we've talked about this on the shows for years, about these kind of exercises. So at one point I decided, there's a lot of distractions you can imagine you're on a public beach. So I took my hands and I put them in the sand, like plugged my hands into the matrix, so to speak, and was like, okay, now let's just go in and really go looking. And I got several images come up. And one of the images, very, very interesting, is someone we've been closely working with, showed me a picture of the image because she had seen it too. And then she went looking to go find a picture that matched up what she was seeing. It was an oil painting from the 1700s of a woman's face, exactly what I saw when I was on the beach.
Yeah, and then almost within,
the girl with the pearl earring. And I can actually pull it up. If you guys want to see it here, I'll pull it up. Just give me a quick second. So what was interesting was, while I was on the beach, I'm not sure where I saved it. Doing my usual bit. As soon as I stuck my hands in the sand and went looking, immediately we had a group. I can't find it right now. I'll have to find it for you guys later. Immediately, we had a group of young men come up. Nick and Quinlan were swinging poi. So they immediately came up and were like, oh, that's really, really cool. What are you doing? Can you show us how, etc.? And one of them immediately goes, oh, well, we need music for this. And he pulls out a speaker out of his pocket and puts on music. Well, and it's that horrible, horrible electronic dance music that's just blah. And it's so funny because it was extremely disruptive. There it is. There's the picture. So that was exactly the face I saw. Exactly. Because I perceived as a bald woman, no hair, but that was exactly the picture that I'd seen, the woman's face that I'd seen. Yes, it's Vermeer. And these guys stayed there for 2 hours doing poi, but they had this music on, and I was just like, I'd go in, I'd get glimpses of things, little bits and pieces, but I couldn't concentrate. It was like a continuous distraction. Every time I tried to go in, it was like almost like the frequencies were just going nuts. And I realized it was like, it's the music. It's the music. That's what that music is for. That music is just to break your concentration to it's like a frequency block. Exactly, Tracy. It's like a frequency block that disallows you to be able to work through it. I had a huge thud moment because I mean, here in Europe, you guys are in Europe, you know, everywhere it's this horrible electronic music. There's like no such thing as live people band music, it seems, anymore. It's all this electronic shit everywhere you go. No, I didn't tell them to turn it off because then I kind of took it as like, almost like a little bit of an exercise to like see how I could work through it. And I planted a few of my own little energetic bombs on the way, but whatever. But it was very interesting because it led me to a whole lot of interesting thoughts about the whole sources of some of the frequencies and how they can be used against us in the most subtle ways that people wouldn't not even fathom. Do you know what I mean? Pardon me. Yeah, but it's interesting, the difference between the music that's done with real musicians, i.e. real instruments. And I had this conversation with someone yesterday, and we're talking about drums. All of that electronic music doesn't use real drums. It's all electronic. So you don't even get the depth of the rhythm of the drum. There's no real instruments. It is 100% digital, and that's it. Leni, you've got your camera on, love. Pardon me.
Okay, something keeps bringing us back for the last 2 or 3 years now to tones. Tones are somehow going to play a part in breaking this all down, including when we talked about Michael Jackson's death and the world tour that he had planned. We all have been, most of us anyway, are hearing different tones, different, what we used to say ringing in the ears, but it's not. No. Another sound that for the last, I'd say 3 or 4 months, I've been hearing, and it's almost mechanical. It's like being in maybe if you were in a factory listening to a machine and it's like a kind of thing. And you can feel the pressure as it does it. Is anyone else getting that?
Yep. Not all the time, but it does come on sometimes. And sometimes it's so overwhelming, it actually makes me feel dizzy.
Okay, so I'm not alone on that one. It hit me yesterday afternoon. Taking the clothes off the line and just, and it's in the air, it's in the atmosphere, it's not, sometimes when you hear these high-pitched tones, it all feels very internal. This is
external.
So there's a bunch of people who know exactly what I'm talking about. It could be like a heartbeat, but it's a very mechanical thing.
It's not a heartbeat, this one. I mean, I get to the point, Dawn, I know what you're talking about. We have those moments where it literally becomes, I liken it to, if you've ever put like a helmet on that seals your head in, that everything almost like pressurizes around your head, and then you can hear your heartbeat, but that's through like the pressure in your ears, because your eustachian tubes next to your eardrums directly connects through. So when you get that real heavy pressure, you can hear your own heartbeat. This is different. It's mechanical sounding. It's like someone said, a helicopter. If you've ever heard a helicopter, when it's been slowed down, if you're very close to the whoo, 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 that's kind of what you get.
I just want to say hello to a few people. Jeff's there. Say hi, Jeff.
Hello, darling. I was looking for you earlier.
And Donna's there. Hi, Donna. And Jenny's there. Feels like Rob Broom again.
Oh, it's like, and Tracy's there, and Jerry's there, and Dawn's there. And
Donna's there.
Stacy's there. There we go. Hey, David's there.
David,
you and I got some work to do, David. Yeah.
I gotta say though that some of the work that we've been doing, energetically, I am just like blown away by the skill, the sheer skill of some of the people who are stepping up. It's unbelievable to watch. I'm in awe.
Let's just address this for a quick second, please, because it's come up in the Unfuckers room over and over again too. So I want to address it because there's a lot of people who have asked questions like, well, how do you do that? Are you remote viewing? What is it? Is it like astral travel? Is it, I have no idea. Don't give me a descriptive word because I suck at those. So one of the things that I talked about a couple of days ago, maybe before, whatever, and I so agree because I talked to Lisa about it afterwards. Everyone has their own little talents, right? Some people can go and they can see. And I always do it, see what's going on. They can kind of go out and look and see what's going on around the world, whatever they're focusing on in the moment. Everyone's got different talents though. And one of the things I said in the group is for those who, when there was work going on and the posts were coming in fast and furiously in the group, right? And people are jumping in and saying what they're seeing, what they're doing, where they're going with the next step. And I said, it's a great exercise in that moment just to literally follow along with it. As you're reading it, do you get a flash of something? Do you see something yourself? But some people work differently. And some people work through, for example, the emotional of it. They get the emotion of it. Some people get the, how do you say it? Oral, the all colors, the sensations of what's coming in. Some people, and there's a couple of people who are really, really good at it, intuitively can jump ahead just by following their own instincts. And we're pulling up news articles, pulling up internet links. As so they would read one line that someone would say they were seeing, and they'd go, oh, and pull up links and drop them in the room, and they'd be dead on the money. Like there's so many times that just clicked.
Tracy was.
It doesn't have to be about Tracy. Yep. Well, I always joke about Tom. Mad Tom is like, he does it here in the chat room for me. It's like, all I have to do is say, there was a news story last week, and poof, Tom's got the link already in there. It's like he takes it right out of my brain. He doesn't need me to actually talk it through. He just pulls it up. You're so good at that, Tom. I love you. Everyone's got their own talents, and some of them are just holding the space. Like there was a whole lot of people who were there, and you knew they were following the thread as the work was happening in real time, and they were holding the space. They were just, and they were like into it, like they were like, oh my God, I'm like, I've got chills, I've got goosebumps, oh my God. That's holding the space. They're energetically, they may not.
And those people who say, oh,
consciously doing.
And those people who think they're always missing out.
Sorry, again?
All those people who think they're missing out because they're asleep when it happens. Not necessarily. Some people do their best work when they're asleep. So don't.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us have experienced actually like feeling completely wide awake one minute and just, oh my God, I have to go lay down. And that's because you're getting pulled in to do something. And we are often not conscious of what we're doing, and I believe that's on purpose because it's protection. You know, you can't get the plan out of my head if it's not there, if I'm not consciously aware of it.
Someone actually made a post in the U room a few days ago saying, well, can we plan to do this? And I was like, no. You can't plan these things because they happen in the moment. And I think that is the safety mechanism, is that someone sees something and it triggers the next person, and next thing you know, away it goes. And time is irrelevant. That's the other part of this, right? Time is part of the construct. Sorry, am I breaking up again?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know what to say at this point. I'm honestly having a mind blank. I'm having a...
Okay. Basically, here's the thing. Let me see if I can break this down for everyone. Is the most succinct way we possibly can. What's come to us through all of these different conversations with Lilu, plus not just Lilu, but previous conversations that we've had over years, and energetic doings that we've worked on over years, is that we have a certain number. Some people are saying it's 12. Like I said, I don't hold the numbers, of beings who are the controllers. Basically, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to, when I always talk about them and they, well, that's who we're looking at.
Go. Okay, when I woke up this morning,
yeah,
what I woke up with was the ones with 4 faces. This is not going to mean anything to most people who are listening, but they are themselves the 4 faces of something behind them.
Yes.
So...
Janice. Oh, yes, I'm going to be going to take another look at Janice very, very soon. So basically, here it is. Well, Lisa's thinking and pulling her thoughts back out into words. What we've been doing is basically we've been pinpointing these controllers and going after them energetically, tearing down some of the matrix creations that they've made, some of the control grids that they have made. So the work is, how do you say it? It's in the energetic realm. It's a matter of going in and seeing and finding, and people working together as groups. And like Lisa says, I've been in awe of how people have come together and just thrown into the pot together and pulling out the most incredible pieces of one person seeing something and the next person is already seeing the same thing, and they're like, no, 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 turn left, because they can see the person in front of them and saying, no, turn left, that's where we have to go.
Can I give an example?
Yes.
Okay, so we were tracking an individual by the name, who goes by the name of, who's known as the Yellow Emperor, right? And while that was happening, again, like we said, one of these gifts that people have is to feel into what's happening and kind of somehow pull up evidence for it, or a link, a clue, whatever. So this is what, bear in mind, yellow, right? I'm going to share screen. This came up. Now, these are cameras that are set up in the Arctic. So just watch this area here. Oh, look at that. What the hell was that? Now, this was, I think, uploaded 48 hours before we did the work. But again, time's relevant, right?
Yep.
And then it went to that. And then that. I mean, that one's amazing. Now, in the doing itself, a character that you could call the Grim Reaper turned up, Death. This emperor has 4 faces and kept changing, and at one point turned into like the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland with a big clock time, and then a sort of pink mist came in which was identified as love. And the next thing that came up immediately was the trailer to a Will Smith movie that's coming out that deals with time, death, and love. They are literally the subject matter. This is all happening in the moment in real time. What was the 4th face? I actually can't remember. If you haven't done any of this sort of stuff, you probably think we are all cool.
Yeah, this is like some of the most difficult shit to trying to explain to people, and I'm sure a lot of people are watching this video going, what the fuck are they talking about? How do you explain? How do you explain shit like this? I don't know.
I mean, it was described as it's a code war. You know, this is a code war. The other way to look at that is that it's a metaphysical war. It's an energetic war. It's a multidimensional war. And we are not going to fight it or win it just on the ground, just in 3D, by voting them out or by staging a revolution with pitchforks in hand. It's not where it's going to be won.
No.
It's not going to be won, even the other extreme, you know, by loving them away. Not in the 3D world, not in the physical.
No.
This is a. Could it be the true World War III? This is almost inside and outside the construct. We're back at, it feels like we're back where it all began. And it's better than the Da Vinci Code. And we are, it seems to me, more and more people are expanding into their multidimensional selves, getting in touch with their energetic gifts. We all have fucking superpowers. We are what did someone say? Someone made a joke and said, I think the UU room is the X-Men, you know. But there are these groups all over the world. And you've got groups of people who come together because they've got an affiliation with the Fae or dragons or whatever, or they've got certain skill sets, and they're all working like that. And we are getting confirmation from these groups about the work that they've done and the work that we're doing.
There's a pile of these groups, and like we're not the only ones doing this. Exactly that. There's
just individuals, lonesome people out there working lonesome, you know.
Who then come in and they send you a message, and you go, "Holy shit, that's exactly what we just did," right? And groups. It's been interesting, Lise. I was actually thinking about this today. How groups come together, and then they kind of separate off, and then different people from different groups kind of come back together again, and then they separate. Because I mean, we've been doing this kind of energetic work like since 2013. At one point, we had quite a large group of us were all kind of working on a bunch of these different things, and then, you know, a couple of people drift off and they're doing their own thing right now. But the thing is, they're still doing their own thing right now. They're still on it.
Yep.
But they're, you know, it's like you come together and then the group does something. Now, the one thing that was Lise, very interesting. Okay. This was something that was told to us way, way back, is the fact of we each have our own energy signature, right? Mm-hmm. Each one of us has our very distinct energy signature, our frequency, if you will. And when two people come together, they create a third frequency. And you can't, so for example, Lisa and I have our frequency when we're working together. We have a frequency that will be probably very distinctly ours. But then if you add a third person in, the frequency changes. And you talk about if you're keeping the perfect cover up, if the frequencies are always changing, as in the groups are always changing as to who's working on what at what time, then it makes it very, very hard to track, doesn't it? Well, not just the power of three, the power of, yeah, we had like, at one point, there was probably like 10 or 15 people all working. Imagine the energy signature that comes together if you have 10 or 15 people all working on the exact same project at the same time. How do you track that? They can't, the quintessential, they can't foresee who's going to be coming together, which is maybe one of the reasons why none of these doings are ever planned. We never plan any one of these things out. They always just happen in the spur of the moment, and the people are there are the people who are there in the moment, which makes it basically impossible to track on an energetic scale when you just talk about frequencies.
There has been work on obelisks, yes, Washington Monument.
Yeah.
Mecca.
Vatican.
A
couple of us have had a lot of fun with the Vatican lately.
Obviously, with the Yellow Emperor, there was locations in China.
Yeah.
trying to think where else. God, we've been all over the shop.
Speaking of which, I sent you some notes that went backtrack to the whole Yellow Emperor thing as something else that came up. I think you were probably in bed by that point. So I think I threw you guys some links. You're looking at when I think Donna put a link in about a mountain, a specific Kunlun mountain or whatever. And I went and looked it up. And when Google Maps zoomed in, we're like, here's the mountain, the little red peg mark that you get on Google Maps. And like 20 kilometers away, there was a cave called the Yellow Dragon Emperor's Cave.
Oh, really?
The Yellow Dragon Cave. And it's called the Dragon Emperor's Cave. And it's this incredible cave. Like the pictures are like all these bright colored stones and stalactites and stalagmites and the whole bit. But I was like, oh, isn't that really interesting that the one mountain that gets mentioned, boom, right there, right next to it is the Yellow Dragon Cave. Just a side note.
There was, I don't know, before Lulu, I think. Or maybe just after, I can't remember. I did that video with Donna and Jenny. We're just us having a chat about what we felt was coming. I think I called it what could possibly top the Mandela effect. And I have to say, what we're seeing play out is kind of what we thought we were going to see play out. I mean, you have no idea what it's exactly going to look like, but in terms of the feeling of what's going on, I've really felt for the last 4 to 6 weeks that we are at the pointy end of the stick here. And that it's time for everything to come home. And that was everything we've created, thought forms, life forms, these friggin' 12, if that's the case too.
Yes, Teresa, yes.
What's that yes to?
According to Chinese legend, the Yellow Dragon Emperor, the Yellow Emperor was supposed to be the very first one. And there's a lot of stuff saying that he was an ET, that he was an extraterrestrial who came down from space. And then after his 100-year reign, he returned to his home world. So
there's a lot about this dude. This is such a difficult thing to talk about.
Okay, hold on. I have to read this. Jennifer, guys, stop chatting for just a second. Jennifer disposed of this was just published. Oh no, crap! There goes the chat. This was just published on YouTube. Anthony Patch and Richie from Boston discussed the quantum computer creating a sentient world simulation that can predict your reactions. On 11/9, it seems as if we entered a parallel dimension as Trump won the election, sparking riots across the country as liberals took to the streets with bloody acts of violence to make Hillary president. Didn't I actually say that? I actually said that to Lisa, I think, this weekend. Said, what if Trump winning was like a Mandela effect, like a slip through was like, whoop, whoop. Talk about a week of fuckery. I mean, it was energetically fucked this last week. And I actually kind of joked about that and said, maybe that's what they did. They did some kind of a flip in the timeline and just kind of, that's how they got Trump in. I don't know.
Well, the things that keep coming up that keep throwing us back to 1987. Lulu gave us the year of 1987 is when they did the last reset, successful reset. And the stuff that went down in 1987 and it still continues to come up as we're doing research and doing things. We keep getting thrown back to 1987.
And if you look at the fashions, even the fashions were thrown back to 1987. It's really fucking scary out there. I had to go into a store this weekend.
If the high-waisted shit doesn't disappear soon, I am going to lose my mind. If I see another pair of stupid high-waisted jeans.
Quinlan bought a pair of jeans?
Are they high-waisted? Please tell me that. Please tell me that.
Actually, sorry. My girlfriend brought them back for her from England. And she put them on. I was like, They stole those. I had those. I had the exact same pair of jeans when I was about her age, which like 84, 85. Skinny leg denim, just goes to the ankle, high-waisted, and it's got like a flower print in the denim. I'm like, I owned those jeans. And we were going through the shop this weekend.
I didn't like them the first time round, let alone the second.
They weren't comfortable the first time round. And we were joking as we're in the shop going, they stole this out of my wardrobe. My girlfriend goes, I remember you wearing this shirt. Seriously, I remember you wearing this shirt. Yeah, so see, 1987 is all back in style. Luckily, the hair isn't quite so bad.
Oh, they haven't brought back the shoulder pads, have they? Please no. Please no.
I haven't seen that. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. There are some of those shoulder pads are kind of working their way in. Yeah. Anyways, that was and that was the fashion segment of this show. We're done.
We're done, yeah.
Yeah, we're done. You wonder why I buy all my clothes secondhand. Because then I don't have to rely on what the fashionistas say are as fashionable.
Oh, Jerry, you're such a sweetheart. He's so romantic. So the only redeeming thing about the 80s was I met Tracy.
Yeah. You two are too sweet for words.
Oh, one-piece bodysuits. Okay.
It's all in again.
A good idea. I'm sorry, but having to go to the bathroom in one of those things is no. I need
with the big belt. With the big belt, you had to undo the belt, and then you had and the shoulder pads would slip and get all fucked up as you were trying to crawl out of it to go have a pee while you were in the nightclub. Yeah, no, it was really, really bad.
Did you ever have one of those moments where your shoulder pad ended up dead here somewhere and you kind of got a third?
No, darling, I had boobs, so.
Fuck off.
The 80s are back. It's terribly, terribly, terribly bad. Yeah. I have totally no idea what the hell I was saying just before we went there. Oh, so yeah. So I mean, I'm not a fan of Anthony Patch because he gets way into the religious thing, and you know me, that immediately is like the on off switch goes click. Yeah, change the channel, done. But yeah, I just find that interesting that he's just done a video on that after I had that exact conversation this weekend, because there's a lot of stuff that kind of indicates that something seriously fucked up has been happening over the last week. Well, week and a half since that Thursday. Hold on, let me look at a calendar. Lost my mouse though. So today's the 14th, 15th for you. So basically since the 3rd was when we first started seeing some really, really weird shifts going on and feeling. And then last week, and then this weekend again, and I don't know. I think I feel like I'm kind of been put through a blender this month so far.
Actually, I'd like to ask Jeff if he's there and listening still, because he keeps track of Cliff High. Is there?
Oh yeah.
Jeff. Is there anything coming out of? Are you there, Jeff? Are you still there? Is there anything coming out of Cliff's material that's relevant to what we're experiencing, or? I'm not seeing him. Maybe he's left. No.
I can't. My Zoom is fucked. I'm sorry. I'm trying to even go look. I can't even frickin' go look.
No, he's gone.
Well, this is Moksha. That's what I was saying. I went to go look at Siberia, and I just mentioned it at the beginning of the show. I went to go look at Siberia. There was a video that came out in September, maybe late August, and it was a thing about the shifting of the magnetic North Pole. It was about magnetic North Pole is shifting to Siberia. And I watched the video because, of course, anything that deals with pole shift, I always watch. And where the guy was showing Siberia to be on the map, I was like, that's not where Siberia is. That's not where Siberia is. And then I got really busy doing stuff and I kind of let it go. And then about 2 weeks ago, what?
He was half Siberian. So there'd be somebody to ask.
Ihor, when did Siberia take up 75% of Russia?
75, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you, hon.
I would say, if not 75, then close to it. And in my reality, it's always been like this. Together with Far East, you have to consider Far East, which is adjacent to Siberia. It's the same mass of land, Danny and Lisa and everyone.
So for you, it's always been as big as it is.
Yes, absolutely. My mom is from Siberia. I traveled to Siberia dozens of times. I was born in the USSR. It's 2/3 at least, always been, plus Far East, which is Vladivostok, Khabarovsk, adjacent to China. It's always been like this.
But see, this is the whole thing. For me, it wasn't. I had a friend who I actually made a couple of really good friends who were Russian, and one whose grandmother was from Siberia. And I mean, this is back in the 80s, actually, funnily enough. And we talked about it. And I can remember, like, Siberia, in my reality, it was in what they now call the Far East.
No. It's
the
two separate
Northeast, way up there. And it wasn't small by any means, but it certainly wasn't like 2/3 the size of Russia.
Always.
Yeah,
Danny.
that's what I'm saying, but not in my reality.
I understand.
I'm just like, and we asked about it in the Unfuckers room. We're like, okay, everyone, and I put a map of Russia up, and I was like, point out where Siberia is. And it's all over. Like, there's a lot of people who obviously say, well, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Because essentially Siberia as such starts in the Arctics. And
yeah, exactly.
It literally borders with China. It's still considered Siberia.
See?
You know?
But in my reality, it was like the Arctic, but the Northeast. It never came and touched Mongolia. Siberia never touched
Mongolia. Yes, always. It's Siberia, always been.
Funny.
They grow strawberries in Siberia. They always have grown strawberries in Siberia in the summertime. Always. So
I don't think you and I are from the same reality, Ihor.
Yeah.
We're not from the same timeline or
reality.
Yeah, it's called Eastern Light.
Nice to meet you in this one.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, likewise. So I suppose I better leave this space for the rest of the people to talk about things. It's lovely to talk to you. First time, by the way. Absolutely thrilled. Danny, at last. Thank you. So speak soon, hopefully.
We will, definitely.
Thanks,
all the best. I'll stay with you, Lisa, Danny. Stay with you, always. Bye.
Okay. We just got given a link to a video of Cliff Eye. But there was also...
I don't want to be listening to a whole video.
Yes, Cliff High stuff could well be predictive programming.
But it's always like, just because it may be part of the predictive programming, you still get information from it, right?
I'm trying to go back to see in the chat room. Cliff says,
it still gives you information.
Charges.
Sorry, love, say again, I'll shut up.
Cliff's bot says that Hillary will be facing charges and the pedophilia will come out. The pedophilia, it already has come out. Her connection.
That's fucking old news.
Didn't make any difference. Yeah, it will be. What do you mean by why are they pulling us from so many different realities? I don't know.
I personally think that we went through them trying to slap on another one. Basically, that's what I think happened back on like the 3rd or 4th of November. That there was another, they tried to slap on a layer or something, and I think that it hasn't taken properly, and that's why almost in the last 10 days, it's been like flip, flip, flip. It's like they're trying to turn it on. They're trying to maybe set it would be a good word. You know, like you mold something in clay, but then you have to fire it to set it. And that's what I get the feeling it's like what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to set something and it's not setting. Whether it's dissolving and disintegrating, and that's why we've had so much incredible amount of fuckery in the last 10, 12 days. Well, the sun is not yellow here, let me tell you.
Oh, this moon business is super weird.
Okay, yeah. Okay, the supermoon, it's right outside my door. It looks just like it did fucking last night. It looks like every other fucking full moon I've ever fucking seen. So I don't know what their whole supermoon is. It ain't got a cape. It ain't flying fast. It's the same size. It looks the same.
Did you see it Did you see it rise like on the horizon?
I watched it rise. Yeah, it was, but you know what? Like, I don't know if it's just where we are. The moon always is fucking big when it rises on the horizon here. And as soon as it gets kind of like visually, what you'd see is at about, you know, yay high off the water, it's the normal fucking size again. Like, literally, there was no fucking difference. We actually went and looked. Like, it was like, okay, let's see this fucking supermoon. I want my money back. Sorry, that was a letdown.
Okay. There is a thread you started in the UU room. Oh, and she's frozen. Oh, there she is. So this is to all the women out there.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. I wanted to talk this. Absolutely.
I think I did say it a couple of weeks ago. I talked about a code, a virus. Is that you? Is that noise coming from your end there?
Not from my end.
All right. That was put into the AI that runs this construct.
Yeah, that was one of the messages that we'd gotten, right, from Dickwad, whatever.
No. Dickwad.
Oh, that Oliver pretend guy.
No.
Oh, before that?
Yeah, this was done by a human with heart code, you could say.
Okay.
A light code that was put into the AI.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of August and beginning of September.
Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
Their tech glitching. Because if we look at it, all this is tech. Saturn's tech, the moon is tech. It's all tech. Then we saw people glitching. That's when Hillary really started to lose her shit. And then we saw Saturn change, right? If that virus has reached the moon, good. So we've got a few, well, I don't know if Dee and I have necessarily got different theories on what's going on, but that's variation on the theory.
Variation on a theory? I'm not tied to mine, so really, I was just doing my usual bit of devil's advocate.
My feeling is that the pull that the moon has, the influence that it has on us has broken down. And what we may be seeing as evidence of that is the way women are experiencing their menstrual cycles right now.
Oh, yes.
So, QD.
Okay, so, guys, if you're squeamish, we're going to have girly talk for a moment. It's got to happen. Suck it up, you big boys. So, I had got my period on last weekend, or just before last weekend. And it was one of the worst periods I have had in my entire life. Heavy as to not be able to leave the house. And so painful, I got to the point where I almost thought I was going to have to tell Nick to take me to emergency. It was shooting pains down my legs, my back, my hips, cramps that were like being in active labor. And all of you who've had a baby, you know what I'm talking about. So I sat there and was like, okay, this is just, what the fuck is this? Like, this is unbelievable. So both my daughters ended up getting their period within a day or so of mine. And my one daughter was at least a full week early, at least a full week. So I was like, okay. So I put a post in the UU room and I said, okay, I want to hear everyone, if you've gotten your period, did you have, and I didn't know leading into it. I was like, I'm not giving you any details. I just want to know if you got your period in the last 7 days, was it abnormal? And we got 97 comments, 120 at one point maybe. Almost everyone had extremely abnormal periods. People were either a week late and suddenly got it at last weekend. People came, some of them were 2 weeks early. We had women who were in menopause, who haven't had a bleeding cycle in months, all of a sudden either start spotting or bleeding. And if they didn't, we had 2 different women who have had hysterectomies who were going through major cramping, as if they still had a uterus. So there's something to this. Something happened over the last week. And like I said, mine started on the Thursday. So take it from, well, let's pull it. I just want to give a date, the timestamp, just so people understand the time that I'm talking about. There you go, the 3rd, again, the 3rd left, what takes to the 3rd of November. Again, mine started on the Thursday, the 3rd of November. Quinlan started on the Saturday. My youngest daughter started, I think, on the Sunday. Everyone, there was a huge amount of people, huge amount of women who had unbelievably bad periods. Or the flip, had an almost non-existent one. And out of the blue, like, what the hell was that?
What I'd like to know is the women who are having the most extreme changes, how connected would they consider themselves to the moon?
Good question.
Someone who's always worked with the moon at full moon, or really run your cycles by the moon, or, I mean, how connected have you been to the moon?
Or in the past, programming is programming.
Right.
Programming is programming. So I used to be a Wiccan way back, like 20, 25 years ago, where the whole moon thing was the big thing. I never really dug it, but whatever. But I was involved in certain moon type rituals that I would do at the time. So I'd like to just kind of get a call out of like how many have either, been involved in moon rituals or taken notice, taken meditations, anything like that.
Yeah, a lot of people have done. Some have never had really connected with it. Because, I mean, my theory for most of my adult life is that this whole menstrual thing is not normal. It's not naturally natural. I don't believe we're supposed to go on heat every month.
Seriously, who came up with that fucking idea?
I think conception should be a conscious act, and that the body will just respond. Right. So the whole moon menstrual cycle thing, just, I've always felt that there was fuckery there, and I didn't really know why or anything or details. It just didn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally think that it's starting to break down, and women and their menstrual cycles are going to be the first and most obvious sign of that.
Yeah.
I'd like to know, and guys, you know, here's your mission if you choose to accept it. Over the next week or so, if we can find some data, because we know that on full moons we get more violence, we get, you know, hospital emergency rooms are
so crazy.
Any other time, the cops are, you know, are busier. There's more domestic violence. There's all of that stuff, you know. Everyone needs an extra dose of their meds, basically, on full moons. So has that changed with this huge supermoon? Was there a spike again? in activity? Was there a bigger spike in activity, or was it just a bit of a lull? Some people I saw on Facebook tried to connect with the moon and it felt all fucked up. Others, I know there was one or two comments, only one or two, that would suggest a positive effect. It actually put them in a very good mood, for one. And they were quite open and relaxed and loving and sensitive after it. So is it possible that this heart code, this virus, made its way to the moon because it was fake Oliver who said, I beg you not to connect to the moon. It will destroy your soul, right? It was fake Oliver. So is it the love vibration, so to speak, that was being broadcast from the moon? And they didn't want us to connect with it? Was the supermoon an attempt to override that? I don't know. I can't believe I'm having this conversation.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. Someone just said about how they've been feeling for the last couple of days. I had a really bad night's sleep last night. I slept for shit last night. I had really fucked up dreams, really unnerving dreams that, of course, I couldn't remember the moment I woke up because, you know, we all love that part. And I woke up this morning and I was just like, oh, this is a shitty day. I was out of bed for 5 minutes and I was already calling it a shitty fucking day. I actually turned around. It was a pretty good day. But Nick got up, same thing. He was like, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to do fucking anything. I want to go back to bed, pull the sheets over my head, and just stay there. So, I don't know.
Okay, guys, the chat room's going so fast. I have no idea.
I know.
No.
Yeah, why did Facebook tell everyone to go look at the moon? Why did Facebook announce that everyone was fucking dead?
Exactly. That was a piece.
What the fuck?
Did you guys see that? Facebook announced
apparently,
including Zuckerberg.
Even Zuckerberg was dead. Apparently, a whole pile of people got a little. I guess if someone dies and Facebook finds out about it, because I guess you report this shit to Facebook, they put a little condolences thing on the top of the person's profile. But yeah, apparently, a shitload of people all of a sudden were dead, including Zuckerberg. Like, I mean, a shitload, like as in. A huge amount of people were suddenly considered dead by Facebook.
I'll show you some screenshots.
Yeah, it was like...
So people went to log into their accounts and they were told that this is a memorial account now.
Yeah.
And this little thing would come up saying, remembering whoever. So people were freaking out and having to go to Twitter or somewhere else.
But their family know that they're still alive.
No, it's okay, I'm still alive. It's all good. Where's another
Lisa,
one?
I'll be right back.
Here's Zuckerberg dead, remembering Mark Zuckerberg. We hope people who love Mark will find comfort in the things others share to remember and celebrate his life. So this happened for millions of people, apparently. Didn't happen for me. I didn't see anybody's death notice or memorialized account. Now, this was they blamed it on a program that they actually installed last year. So it's not like this was something brand new that they've just created and then kind of had a go. This was done last year. So.
Okay, so I'm going to, just because Lolly just said it, it feels like the population dropped to me. David, I think you said it a week or so ago about waking up and all of a sudden feeling like there was less people on the planet, like a substantial drop. Yeah, I don't know. I find that all very strange, guys. Very, very strange. Yeah, I don't know. I have to put a jacket on. I'm actually cold. Like, I got the door open next to me. I'm like, winter's finally arrived. Lisa, I'm not happy about it.
I'm happy about summer arriving. Very. I don't know. No idea what it means. Was it a test?
Was it? I don't know.
Was it disclosure? Was it the good guys hacking Facebook?
Okay, that was actually really, someone just brought something up. A post that Lisa made in the UU room in January.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly popped up.
Yeah.
And it was like, where the fuck did this, I mean, it's impossible. I mean, I don't know if anyone's involved in Facebook on really active groups. In the Unfuckers room, like if I go looking for a post that was posted a month ago, it's impossible to find it. Even
I can't find stuff that was posted yesterday half the time.
The Unfuckers group goes so fucking fast. There's so much going on. It's impossible. So how did a post from January just suddenly appear? It's like, where did that come from? And what's strangely enough is it was kind of relevant. That was the weird thing about it, is it was kind of relevant.
Mm-hmm. Can't find my own post from yesterday. Yeah, exactly. The quakes in New Zealand, yeah, that's interesting. It was felt in Christchurch though, right?
Yeah, majorly felt in Christchurch, which is where John Kerry was right after leaving Antarctica. Then there was the lightning that was seen. And, oh, that was it. Someone showed me, someone, I can't remember who it was, posted a picture and was like, Dandy, did you notice, here's the earthquake. Do you know what's directly, and I mean directly across from where the earthquake was?
That's what I'm looking at. Chatham Islands, right?
Chatham Islands. Yeah, Chatham Islands. I mean directly. Draw a straight line, put a level on it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was literally looking up on a map, was to see the relationship between the two.
Yep. The directly, yeah. Yeah, my technology is all fucked as well. Stacey was just saying she had to reboot her computer twice during the show. I had a pile of links up to show tonight, and I had to reboot my computer 2 or 3 times today. I had several major fucking like moments. So, well, okay, now this is the interesting thing about storms. Okay, I have seen more electrical storms, lightning storms, in the last 2 months than I have seen in the last, 5-6 years. Like, we have had almost every single week we've been here. Well, like I said, we've got a major electrical storm going on outside right now. I've got the blinds closed so you can't see the flashes as they're going. We've had a couple that have literally lit up the living room. Huge electrical storms, and everywhere. Like, there's a lot of people have been talking about massive storms, or again, we're always talking about the bizarre weather, the extreme weathers that are going on everywhere. So they were talking about it, saying someone was in Washington D.C. and their tulips came up in November. Someone posted a picture of they had a sunflower start growing in their yard. It was freaking November. What? Sorry, we're talking unnatural.
The number of people complaining about their tech, all their tech breaking down.
Yep.
It's their phones, their iPads, the computers, whatever it is. It's just the tech's not working. But there was something else I was going to say.
Yeah, someone just said my irises are coming up. Yep.
Oh, wow. What was I going to say?
Now, here's the whole thing about the electrical storms with the earthquakes, okay? Several videos got posted of massive electrical lightning hits at the exact same time as the earthquake in Christchurch in New Zealand. And mainstream is trying to pass it off. I mean, literally, I've seen several articles trying to like debunk it, being, oh, no, it doesn't. There's no correlation, whatever. Yeah, fuck that shit. I have now seen in the last couple of years at least 6 or 7 videos of lightning strikes happening during major earthquakes. And it goes back to what I've been talking about for ages now, talking about the fact of if the earth is releasing electricity, and if you talk about tectonic plate movement, even if it is artificially induced, let's say it's an artificially induced earthquake, the movement would generate a massive amount of electrical charge, and it's got to discharge that. And that's what those lightning strikes are, I swear. None of these fucking pissant meteorologists who think they fucking talking out of their assholes and their usual excuses, bullshit. And the ground lightning, right? Ground lightning. We're still seeing ground lightning all over the places. Sprites. I said this the other day. I think it was last week's show. We had red fucking lightning out here. Red and orange lightning. What the fuck is that?
Purple skies.
Purple skies. Yeah. If we get purple rain next, I want to talk to Prince. Seriously.
Fog. There's been some weird airy fogs. Purple fogs, pink fogs.
We had I don't know. I took you, I was talking to Lisa on Zoom. It was last week, and I took my computer outside to show her because we'd just been talking about fog, and everything was so completely hazed over. It looked like fog, and I was like, but it might be a dust storm. But the problem is when there's dust storms here, it's coming up from the Sahara, it is like yellow, and everything turns fucking yellow. The houses, the cars, the streets, everything turns yellow. This wasn't yellow. It was like gray. It was like fog. But it's hung around this, and it was everywhere for hours.
There was something I was going to say and address that was in the chat room.
And it's gone.
And I forgot it. I'm having one of those days, apparently.
I prescribe 2 more cups of coffee.
I've already had 3.
No. Well, 2 more will be the ticket, trust me. Either that or you just start running around the house. I don't know. Thoughts go poof. Yeah, exactly, Joseph. That was me today. I was trying to have a conversation with someone. I'm like, I had a thought. I was going somewhere with this story, but I don't remember quite where.
Oh.
Hit me.
No, I was just going to put a suggestion out there. For people who are wanting to try and practice or do, hone their skills, or just seeing what you can see. Do you remember those old 3D books that you would look at and a different image would pop out of them? You know those ones?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay, find a blank wall and don't look at the wall necessarily. Look at the space in front of the wall and allow your eyes to do that little kind of lazy, slightly crossy thing that you would do if you were looking at one of those pictures and see what you see. Do the same thing when you're looking at the sky. Or
allow yourself to see. Like, don't concentrate like, oh, I'm going to see a sunflower now. No, just allow yourself.
It's good practice. And there are reasons for us to believe or to hope even that there are breaches in the construct already. Okay? The veil, as we say, is getting very, very, very thin. And if you if you're outside and you're looking at the sky or you're looking at trees or whatever, and you allow yourself to do this, sometimes you see something else entirely, a completely different scene. No one's using my computer anymore. I've locked out everything.
Yeah, everything's locked down.
I have not spoken to the original Lilu or the original Oliver for 2 weeks. I've had contact with a whole slew of others who are coming through and you know, pretending to be them or admitting that they're not eventually. And
telling us all to fuck ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of people who are doing this sort of stuff and seeing auras or starting to see things. That's cool. Oh my God, what is going on with my brain this morning?
I don't know. My excuse is I'm tired. I haven't slept in 2 weeks.
Wipe.
My excuse is it's 11:30 at night, and I don't know. I turn into a pumpkin really soon. Look, you can see the orange coming already.
Oh, anybody else want to come out and talk? Because I'm done. I don't think I can get a sentence out anymore.
My theory on the Antarctic Treaty, because someone just asked in the chat room, is they're just closing it off. They're ensuring that it stays fucking closed off. That people can't get there. And I think there's more and more shit going to be coming out of the Antarctic. The images, all kinds of shit's going to be coming out. So just keep your eyes on this space. Keep your eyes on this space. I has a feeling. Oh, and the moon is bouncing all over the place. I haven't witnessed it yet, personally. The moon, so on my balcony is right here. And the moon rises here and it sets over there. Now, it's done minor shifts, like where all of a sudden it's like, shouldn't the moon be up yet? Holy crap, and it seems like it's rising 2 hours later. What? But I mean, we've had multiple reports all over the place of the moon being here, and then it's here. And then it's here.
Okay, we've got a couple of people who want to share something. So I think one of them was Candace. Do you want to unmute? Yo.
Yeah.
You want to go gangster on me?
It was just interesting, actually. Lately, actually a few weeks ago, I was in Iceland. And, okay, so let me just set the tone. So all my life I see this sort of silvery, sort of fractal symbol go past my field of vision, just the one. And I was in Iceland going over a glacier, as you do, on a fucking jet ski, and it was white snow everywhere. It was a snowstorm, and all of a sudden, all these other fractal symbols just came and connected with that one, like a fuckload of them, and I was just like, whoa, this is new. It was so crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I felt like I was looking at more codes because I was closer up on, well, the globe, I guess you could say, being in Iceland. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that. It was really intense. Exactly. And sorry, you go.
Well, I was just going to ask, what do you think they are or mean? Are you getting any insight into it?
It just felt like I sort of received more codes, because then when I got back to Australia, I was talking to a girlfriend, and I hadn't even told her yet, and she said, oh, you've travelled pretty far and, wonderful places. Maybe you've picked up some more, codes and stuff. And I was just about to say that to you. Like maybe travelling to different parts of the world and picking up on their energy codes, or, I don't know, like everything's changed since I've got back home. Like I feel and see reality differently. Everything looks different. Things wobble, walls wobble. What else? Things don't look real. Like I stand outside, have a cigarette sometimes, and I'm just like, this just doesn't look fucking real. It doesn't look real to me. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a strangest feeling. It doesn't look fucking real.
Nope.
Yep.
Candace, I so fucking hear you on that. Don't look fucking real.
It's just bizarre. And talking with people, like, I've stopped being as reactive to their programming, because it's just like, I can't get angry at someone who's completely enmeshed in the program anymore. I just can't. It's just a waste of time and energy. And so I just feel like I go into a computer program. Like, I get off, you know, I jump in my car, I go to work and I do all my thing, but I feel like I drop into like a computer program, and I come back to my home, my sort of sacred space, and I'm like, oh, here we are. You know, I'll go talk to some like rational people, or listen to an interview with you guys, or ring up a girlfriend and have a, you know, shit talk or something. But, you know, it's becoming more and more unreal, and I'm fucking over it. Actually, I'm getting out of the city in the next 12 months. I've had enough. It's like, I mean, I'm not in the city, but I can't handle the energy anymore. I can't handle loud sounds. I can't handle irritating music. I just got a really sensitivity to certain frequencies now. I feel like I'm like on the autism spectrum or something. I'm like, loud sounds, you know. I'm just like, just stop it, you know. I don't mean to be rude, but it's just true. Like, I just cannot stand certain sounds anymore. I have to leave. Even people's voices, their tones of their voices, I just go, shut the fuck up. In my head I'm saying that. You know, I'm not saying that loud.
No. I actually did at dinner time today. At dinner time today, I finally looked at everyone and was like, everyone shut up.
Yeah.
All of you, just shut up. You all have to stop. Just stop right now. And they were all talking, and and Nick was doing like some martial arts training with the kids, and they were all like, well, how would you do this? And it was like, oh, mommy's gonna lose her shit right now. I literally made everyone stop. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yep.
A word.
Absolutely. And I just know when someone's talking shit as well, when they're lying through their teeth. Like, I'm just like, it's like my brain shuts down. I'm just like, I cannot hear what you're saying right now, because you are not speaking any sort of fucking truth. It just shut down, you know.
And you look at them like this?
Yeah, glazed over, completely glazed over.
Fluoride stare yourself, go.
Sorry?
You end up with the fluoride stare yourself.
Yeah. Good old fluoride stare. Anyway, so that's my piece, my 2 cents.
How that evolves.
Yeah, if you see any more of those, I want to hear about it.
It was just interesting how that happened in Iceland, because I've noticed it my whole life. I thought maybe it was like a scratch on the lens of my eye. That's what I put it down to, you know, the rational sort of human response is to put it down to something physical. But to see all these little symbols connect up together in front of my eyes while going through a snowstorm, like, it was so noticeable. And lucky I wasn't driving the snow ski at this point. I probably would have crashed it. I was dinking on the back of my husband, and I'm just sitting there going, whoa, shit, this is unbelievable. You know, it was pretty cool, man. So, yeah, it was definitely worth going to Iceland. There's something about Iceland. It's a very different energy. Whoa.
It's on my bucket list. Iceland has always been on my bucket list.
And they're all about that narrative about Agatha. Like, I was staying at a hostel with a guy who was doing a play about the journey to the center of the earth. He was exploring that, which I found interesting, and their mythology is fucking great, you know. And the energy there is just, I could have stayed there for a long time. It just felt really peaceful. It was nice. Yeah, I was there for 2 weeks.
Nice. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Thanks, Candace.
No worries.
I just wanted to answer a question. Lisa, I'm stuck on the RH negative failed experiment. Are the RH negative bots? No, there was no indication that RH negatives are bots.
It was an experiment. What Lilu said was there was an experiment that they tried to do as an upgrade, and it failed. So it was just a failed experiment that they tried to put into the population. That was all.
Thanks, Candace. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Now, Donna was also trying to get me to bring something to my attention for me to bring up, and I can't remember what it was. So can you tell me? Or can you come out?
If she has internet?
If she has internet. Is she still with us, or has she dropped already?
Okay, I wanted to, while we're waiting for Donna. Are you there, Donna?
She's still in the room.
Okay. This has come up multiple times. Ihora just reminded me because he had something come up in his own personal story with him and his sister, a conversation that they had over the phone. And then immediately he had a whole bunch of things play out, like music play out, that was exactly what he was kind of talking about with his sister. We have had at least 4 or 5 stories in the Unfuckers room in the last couple of days alone of people talking on their phone or to a friend and saying, yeah, you know, like I want to go get some sage. I really think it would be a really good thing. I need to go get some sage. And then opening their Facebook and then having advertisements for sage all of a sudden coming up in their Facebook feed. People talking about something with someone and then they turn around and that's in their Facebook feed. Or Google ads. And it's not something that they've searched for. It's not like they've gone in and go, okay, so that's how Google works, right? If you go in and look for fucking, God forbid, airline tickets, all you're going to see for the next fucking 3 months is every fucking travel site on the face of the goddamn planet coming up in every advertisement. No, I'm talking about people having conversations on the phone, conversations.
But hang on, what if, like as in Ehor's case, he thought about Sinead O'Connor. He didn't say it out loud, he didn't write it down, and next thing Sinead O'Connor's on his computer. So it's our knee-jerk reaction to go immediately to the fuckery, right? It's the text monitoring us, it's all. But what if it's actually part of our manifesting abilities are actually just actually coming on more and more and through the roof?
That's what I wanted to say, is exactly that. Is this not... I'm sorry, I just don't believe that their AI is so good that they can hear my thoughts or hear the phone conversation that you had outside and they give a fuck to be able to put it in your Facebook. I just don't see it. But what if it's like just unconscious manifesting, like almost like, how many movies have talked about it where you see the main character in the story is trying to learn something, or they're trying to achieve something, and they finally say, you just have to let go. You're trying too hard. You're concentrating too hard. You just have to let go. Maybe that's with a lot of the stuff that we do with manifesting. We concentrate. We overthink it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when you just, you know, hey, I really need to go. I should look into, you know, looking up about getting, you know, some water delivered to my house or whatever, and boom, next thing you know, there's a fucking ad there. Because you've literally, unconsciously put that out and you're manifesting it in. I don't know.
Okay, you back, Donna? Can you come and talk about the chessboards? Because you got people going, what's with the chessboards?
Okay, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm hot, I'm cold. Now take off my jacket. I'm too fucking cold.
Oh, they came out of, okay, so one of the women that we've been working with sees very well, very clearly. And she has seen on several occasions these beings that we're hunting walking off with a game board, literally like whether it's a chessboard or it's a game board, and they're putting it literally under their arm and they're off. And then the information that came last night through whoever this was gave us a few words that led us to, let's see if I can find it. This, I think.
The game of life. Exactly, Tara.
led me to this at one point. The Pythagoras dragon, which seems to be a game of some sort. Chessboard. It made reference to the Pythagoras dragon. The recording did, or the whoever came through. Okay. All about chess. But there's a particular image here that I found very interesting. There's the little white rabbit. This one. You guys ever seen those soldiers, those statues that were buried, Chinese army, in like life size?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Lisa, get out of my fucking head.
That's what that reminds me of. Chessboard.
I was just looking at a picture of those today.
You're kidding.
I shit you not.
Okay. Kind of looks like Yellow Emperor-ish, does it not?
Uh-huh.
Oh, and also Doctor Strange.
If you haven't seen it yet, go see Doctor Strange. Now, unfortunately, in the downloading realm, all there is
the one I watched last night was great.
Really? Then where did you get?
I don't know. Darius grabbed it.
Okay, ask Darius to drop me a link if he could.
Yep.
Because the only one I've seen was a pretty bad cam quality, like it was very dark and it would the sound wasn't very good. Oh yeah, you got to go see Doctor Strange.
In that thing that I just showed you, it talks about. Donna's just told me again, reminded me. It talks about the chessboard being magic and about controlling time and space through it. I mean, there's clearly a reason why the whole Mason thing is the black and white checkered boards and stuff like that, right? I've got to send Donna the link too, because what I was seeing as I was watching Doctor Strange last night, and I didn't get to see it all, I fell asleep actually, because the trail that we're on right now is leading us to India, and there was references to Sanskrit, Nepal. It's more disclosure basically in that movie. In the Freemasons, it's called a tracing board. Interesting. So guys, if you've never been down this road, you probably think we're nuts. Probably think we're overdue for our meds.
And we have those moments where we actually think that too.
But you can't entertain the idea of this being a construct without it including everything that we're talking about. You know, or if you've been down the New Age route, you know that there's more to it than this. You know that there's more to this reality than what you see. You know that there's more than just the fucking five senses going on here. I think we've been, well, I know we've been lied to, diverted, and distracted.
Pull my hair out. It's just got to be over. Fuck.
I think you're going to see the evidence more and more and more and more in yourself, in your life, in your surroundings, that everything you considered magic or fairy tales is true. That's where we're at, I think.
Through the looking glass.
Through the looking glass. And they do disclose. They always disclose. They just don't do it. They find there's a loophole. They can do it through movies. They can do it through television.
They can do it however, yeah. They have to tell you. They have to give notice. They have to disclose, but they don't have to have like a website that says disclosure and here's what we're doing today.
Because, okay, people go, why? It's like a universal law. You know, there is free will. And they can do that even in the very basic sense of 3D world, right? You know, when you go watching the news and they send a reporter out there on the streets to get to ask people what they think of this or that law that they want to pass. That meets the criteria of disclosure and consent, right? And as long as they could ask 10 people and only one person might say yes, but that's the one that they'll broadcast. So, right, you guys all, we told you what we wanted to do and you said yes. It can be as simple as that. All the laws in the construct, yes. Yes, we are putting ourselves back together again, it feels.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, tacit consent, exactly. It's considered tacit consent. And that's why you have all this fine print in every fucking thing you sign your name on. Has a shitload of fine print. Has a shitload of print that you'll never see because it's written into the contract that they basically don't have to show you everything. So, yeah, tacit consent. I do not consent. I do not fucking consent.
Well, we're out of time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Westworld tomorrow. I've got it downloaded. It's all ready to go. I'm really
apparently it's taken a strange turn.
Yeah. No, I don't want to hear from anyone. Don't. I'll watch it tomorrow.
This has been one of the strangest shows we've ever done.
Yeah, I think it ranks up there.
Right.
Not really. And yeah. I don't know. You and I have talked about energetic work quite a bit over the last few years. I mean, people should be somewhat prepared that we do this kind of shit. Yeah, we're whack jobs. Sorry, guys.
I don't know. There's a lot of new people who found us because of the Mandela effect and have no idea. And we're going to
true.
These two talking about now.
The world is not what you think it is. No. Certainly not. Actually, it's really, really funny. I had this thought today. It was like, other than, like all of a sudden Siberia being 75% of the size of Russia, I don't know if there's been anything really, but I haven't been following the Mandela effect shit. It just hasn't, it's kind of like I feel like we've done that and we've dealt with it. And like I'm going to, obviously every so often it's going to come up and I'm going to go, but yeah, I don't know.
Kimby, your camera's on.
And Debbie is screen sharing. Debbie, why are you screen sharing?
Okay. And then I'll stop.
There we go. Yeah. Tom says, yeah, Mandela effect, been there, done that. Sorry.
Well, is it just me or have they kind of stopped?
Well, that's what I was just going to say, but I haven't been following. So I don't know, there could be a whole pile of new things. Have they stopped? Really? Or like, I mean, like, I'm sure there's probably little pieces.
The village people. Someone said there's now 6 of them.
Or is that a joke?
But their song in the Navy.
There's not 6 people in the village, people.
Do you know the song?
There is now 6 people in the village, people.
No, there isn't.
What's his character?
He's an army man.
An army man.
Yeah, he's an army man. The original last guy was supposed to be the Navy guy. Now they have an army guy. A black army guy.
No, not my reality. Didn't fucking happen.
Okay, finish this line.
Not in my reality.
No, not in mine either. But who wants you as a new recruit? Do you remember the song? Do you remember the line?
I think it's the Navy wants to have the new recruit. That's what I remember. Although I wasn't really...
In the Navy, you sailed the 7 seas. Yeah. In the Navy.
But for me, it was, we want you. We want you. We want you as the new recruit. It was we.
Yeah.
Now it's they.
Well, you know what? This Mandela effect is just... I'm just riding the wave of it. When I first found out about the Mandela effect at near the beginning of last year, I could not sleep for 2 days. No, it was almost the same as for me for the 9/11. And don't get me started on Building 6, because there was no Building 6 damaged. I'm telling you, it's like, I'm like...
My fucking Zoom is crashed.
Oh, I'm just riding it. I'm like, okay, whatever comes, I've always had a feeling I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah, you will be. It's all good.
Exactly.
It's all good. To me, it's just, you know how we talk about the layers, and then it's like the layers are an update. Within the layers, there are each layer is a new release, a new version. But within those versions, there are these minor updates. It feels like we've been going through within the layer. We've just been working our way down through these updates right now, which may be why I'm not noticing these huge Mandela shifts anymore. But
I'm noticing huge ones, like mostly like land changes, like Long Island doesn't look like Long Island when I remember. Now it's something like this. You can't see my camera. Like it's going outwards towards the ocean, and it's like it never did that. I never remember New York being as small as it is now, and it's like, oh boy.
Yeah, don't even get me started on the whole map changes. Seriously, that's the one that does my head in a lot. Oh well.
We're gonna have to start off.
I miss having a yellow sun. It really was good. It was.
We'll get it back.
I'm gonna click my mute button and just,
Well, we have to sign off now anyway, so thank you for sharing.
The end of the show.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
I got blue hair because I decided to have some fun. I was coloring my daughter's hair. I dyed my daughter's hair blue, and there was extra color in the bottle. So I did my braids, just the ends, and then I was just screwing around. I said, fuck it. So now I have blue hair. And I'm sure it'll all fade out to look gray, which will just be delightful. But, I was just having a moment. So that's me, never thinking shit through.
All right, love. I will talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.